Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to be ranking all my high-end foundations. Now I have a lot more high-end foundations than I did eyeshadows, just because I feel if you're somebody who wants to dabble in high-end, I definitely recommend foundations, because I've not yet found a drugstore foundation that is close to my favourite high-end foundation, which I'll show you in a minute. So yeah, definitely the biggest investment I would say is foundation. Other than anything else you could probably pick up at the drugstore, but for foundations I definitely recommend, especially if you have like problematic skin and you're looking for a full coverage foundation, because it's rare that you find a really good full coverage foundation at the drugstore. So I'm going to start. There's two in here which I'm not a massive fan of. One of them is because of my skin type, but it came in a set and I didn't get the set necessarily for the foundation, but I'll mention it anyway. So the first thing, this is my go-to one. This is the Clinique Beyond Perfecting Foundation and Concealer. This is in the shade 15 Beige. This one was my first high-end foundation purchase, and I was amazed. I was like, holy shit, this is where everyone was going on about it. I remember I was watching one video, I don't remember her name now. She used to have really problematic skin, and now it's not as bad because she had that treatment. I can't remember what it's called now. It's when people have like really bad acne, and it covered that so well. I was like, I need to get this, and everyone else was talking about it. I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. It is a matte foundation, but it's like the first matte foundation that doesn't actually cling to anything on my skin. I have combination dry skin, so when it comes to matte foundations, they can cling onto my skin, but this one really doesn't. Like, this is really good. This is amazing, guys. I really definitely recommend it. I'm not found a drugstore foundation that matches this yet, but I really love it. Next foundation is this one. This is the Tarte Amazonian Clay Foundation. This is in the shade Tan Honey. The reason why I don't like this is because it's a mousse foundation, and mousse foundations don't go with anyone with dry skin. Even if you've got dry patches, it doesn't work. I remember, I'll tell you this little story. I remember when I was in secondary school, and my friend used to always put makeup on me, and it turns out a little bit unhygienic when it came to like, you know, using her makeup brushes and stuff, because she's not a makeup artist, so she wouldn't be sterilising the stuff. But anyway, she used to use the Maybelline Matte Mousse. Oh my god, after that, it was so traumatic. Like, after that experience, I didn't wear foundation in ages, because I generally thought that's what all foundations felt like on the skin, just really heavy and cakey. And obviously I was wrong when I first tried my first, is the Rimmel London, the one with the red cap. And I was like, wow, not all foundations are like that. But yeah, most of the part, if you've got dry skin or any dry patches, definitely don't recommend using mousse foundations. Mousse foundations are definitely more towards people with oily skin. But as I said, this came in a set, and I got it I wanted the set mostly for the eyeshadow. So I knew when I brought it that this foundation probably isn't going to work. I do still wear it like a few times if I like hydrate my skin, but I just don't reach for it, because most of the time it just doesn't work at all. Next one is another Tarte foundation. This is the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea foundation, and this is in the shade Deep Honey. Saying that, this is a little bit too dark for me, so I'll do with a lighter shade than this. This is Shook. Now this is really good, like, as in, it's not full coverage, it's quite a watery formula, but it's a good like sort of coverage for what it covers. You get what I mean? Like, it's a medium coverage, but it still evens out skin tone and makes the skin look flawless. Like, it is really good. I remember when this came out, people were a bit disappointed because they were like, it's not full coverage. But even though it's not full coverage, obviously depending on like how problematic your skin is, obviously if you've got perfect skin, then it's going to be a full coverage for you. Even though it's not full coverage, it does make the skin look so nice and so beautiful. Like, I was like, what's people moaning about? People should be moaning about the applicator. Now the applicator is droplet applicator that only can hold one drop, which is really annoying. This one is a doe foot applicator. I'm still not a massive fan of a doe foot applicator. I do prefer a pump, but this one is the worst. This one is the worst. I'd rather have a doe foot than a droplet like this. But yeah, love this foundation. Next foundation is the NARS All Day Luminous Weightless Foundation. This is in the shade Cadiz, and it says medium/dark 3. This is another foundation where it's not, I didn't expect it to be full coverage because it's quite a watery foundation. You do have to, like a lot of foundations anyway, say to shake before use, but this one you definitely have to shake before use just to thicken it up a little bit. It's still a little bit watery, but again, this one, it's not full coverage. I'll say this one's a little bit more coverage than the Tarte one. On me, this is like medium to full. Again, it makes the skin look flawless. Oh, I love this foundation. Like, I put it on, I was like, oh my god, wow, just wow. But yeah, this is a really good formula. I forgot to mention the finishes. So obviously that is a matte finish. This one I think is just a normal finish. Same with this one. But yeah. This one though, I forgot to apply how I apply it. So this one and this one and this one I apply with a brush. Most of the time I do apply my foundation with my fingers just because I do prefer it that way. But this one and this one and this one, you do have to buff it into the skin. Just, you know, so it, you know, it's one of those things where the foundation needs to properly, you know, buff it into the skin or it just doesn't look very good. So there's that. Next one is the Dior Skin Forever foundation. This is in the shade 045. I have mixed feelings about this foundation. So when I first tried it, I did not like it. That was when I had quite problematic skin. But I found when my skin isn't so problematic, it looks alright. But still, I'm like, all my other foundations, I reach for more than this. I mean, it's all right, but it's kind of like average. But yeah, this, if you are thinking about getting this foundation, definitely don't get it if you have got problematic skin, because it's just not gonna really look very well on the skin. It doesn't really, you know, gel with the skin that well. But I mean, it's all right when I don't have problematic skin, but it's like, it's kind of an average foundation, so I don't necessarily recommend it. But yeah, unless you've got flawless skin. But to me, it's more like an average foundation. And then the last high-end foundation I have is the Fenty Beauty, and this one is in the shade 330. This foundation, I do like it, I just don't reach for it as often, and I don't know why. It could be because it is a matte foundation. Saying that, it doesn't, from what I remember, it doesn't cling onto my dry patches too much or at all. I generally can't remember. It probably still does a little bit. It's only this foundation that I find that doesn't cling onto any, like, my to any of my dry patches, so this probably does slightly. I don't know, I just don't reach for it. It is really good foundation, like, it is really flawless on the skin when I do use it, and I use it and I'm thinking I need to use this foundation a lot more, and then I don't. It's a weird one, I don't know why. I probably just prefer more, you know, more of a normal finish than I do a matte finish, because out of all these high-end foundations, I tend to reach for these two the most, the NARS one and the Clinique one, and I just forget about this, and then when I do use it, I'm like, I need to use it more, and then I don't, which is weird. But I do recommend it. It is really good, really leaves the skin flawless and everything like that. I just don't understand why I don't reach for it as often. But yeah, that is it for this video, so bye guys.